Second,
as Mark Telan gets fouled.
Mark Telan actually had a very good start for Talking Text, and medyo nawala siya after his first few baskets, and Mark Telan will be given 2 free throws.
Tama ka doon, very aggressive siya sa start, but after he sat down, when he came back, came in a little cold, then just couldn't regain his bearings after that.
You gotta give this guy credit. You know, Mark Telan didn't really make much of an impact coming into the PBA. Sabi mo nga, 2 beses nag-comeback itong si Mark Telan. I mean, he was a dominant player in college. I mean, he's one of the best centers in the UAAP. But, you know, medyo nahirapan siya dito sa PBA because, you know, at 6'6", he wasn't the biggest guy anymore. But he adjusted, he improved his game, he got himself strength training, and, you know, now that he's getting the opportunity again, pinapakita na ulit si Mark Telan.
Ang maganda kasi kay Mark, even though he's 6'6", he's so agile, mabilis siya, gets a lot of easy baskets because he runs the break.
If Jimmy Alabad, ayaw pa rin pumasok, and it's even an offensive foul on the Mighty Mouse.
Jude, parang nung nasupalpal siya nung 2 beses, he lost na his confidence going to the hole. There was a number of times in the fast break, I was expecting him to go straight to the basket. That time, he went straight to the basket, pero nailang pa rin siya, so he had to ward off.
60-44, 16-point advantage for the Santa Lucia Realtors. Here's Marlo Aquino, out to Kenneth Duremdes. Duremdes driving inside. Ngayon, pinaapangan siya ni Mark Telan. Here's Jimmy Alapag now, trying to cut into this 16-point lead. Victor Pablo, 17-footer. That's a little long, but he gets the shooter's foul. So 3 straight points for Talking Text at naputol na po nila yung kalamangan sa 14. Labing-4 na po. Kenneth Duremdes gets past the Telan. Gets past De Ocampo, pero yung pagka-help defense ni De Ocampo left Marlo Aquino wide open for the offensive rebound. Big Pablo for every shot. You know, Big Pablo, once you give him that about 10 to 15-foot shot in the baseline, I mean, 80-90% of the time, papasok yan.
Mula college ba yan? Yan na talaga yung strength niya.
Here's Omolon challenging De Ocampo at nakuha yata yung braso ni Omolon, so matatawagan ng foul si De Ocampo. So, parang nag-boxing itong si Delbert Omolon.
Nakita natin, hear the blood still coming out dun sa band 8 na pinatok dun sa eyebrow ni Delbert Omolon.
Saka mahirap pa rin maski yung band-aid. Pinapawisan ka eh. So, well, let's turn over to Richard Del Rosario. He's got a report for us at courtside.
Well, see, Coach Joel Banal wasn't happy with their defense. Giving away 60 points in the half did not sit well with him. Ang sabi niya, they can't give Kenneth Duremdes and Paulo Mendoza space to shoot because they will shoot the ball. They have to do a better job in running back in transition because they gave away too many fast break points. Lopez naman, he advised his boys to move and pass and cut, and sabi niya, don't be afraid kasi marami tayong pang-alit. So that's the report, the halftime huddle of Talking Text. Back to you, Jude and Jason.
Thanks very much, Richard. And marami ka talagang sihado ka ng 17 points. Talagang marami kang pwedeng makita. And definitely, you know, the open shots of Kenneth and Paolo and the fast break opportunities of Santa Lucia, yun ang kailangan nilang mapigilan in the second half.
And that's another foul on Marlo Aquino. All of a sudden, things change. The complexion of this game changing. Ang 4 na yan ni Marlo.
That's the big point in this ball game as si Dennis Espino nasa scorer's table na kaagad. At, you know, Al Francis did not want Dennis Espino off the bench this soon.
And at that time, Yancy Del Campo deciding to go outside after getting 2 fouls from Marlo.
Sayang to eh, kasi he's gonna sit during the next dead ball. 20 points na kay Marlo. Listener inside, and you know, that was, I think Marlo Aquino made a difference there. Naiwanan yung si Delbert Omolon eh. Pero si Marlo Aquino, I mean, he was just in the right position, and nailang itong si Willie Miller, and he was forced to turn it over. Marlo Aquino, this is jump hook. And it's difficult to block. I mean, you just gotta hope he misses. Here's Kenneth Duremdes, another open shot. And this one doesn't go. Never Camolondo gets the offensive rebound. So a cutting Kenneth Durandez gives it to Espino inside. Gets away, gets it back, then it's Espino. Ayaw pa rin. So you can see Dennis now is back to the back. Miller is fouled on the drive. And you know, Alapag is now on the bench. Patrick Brad, pinalitan kaagad si Alapag. And I guess they just need to give him confidence.
Jimmy continues to be ineffective in today's game. Sometimes it's better to rest the player para he can get a better feel of the game from the bench. When he comes back, maybe more prepared to contribute for the season.
Albert Tomolon will sit. Ayan po ang ating mga kaibigan from Cebu Pacific. Mr. Gary Cruz, Director of Sales. Tapos sa Edwin Bautista, yung pong nasa gitna. Director of... and then, kanina, sinabi natin si Andrew Tech. Ako po yung nagbubuk sa Cebu Pacific. On time, 95% of the time. Mendoza, pinasok sa loob. Espino to Francisco. Francisco takes the three, goes inside, double bump, and napasa. Ganyang pasa. Here's Willie Miller against Francisco. Willie Miller fades away, the baseline, and that's Willie Miller at it again. Willie Miller now with 18 points. Mendoza, laban si San. Of course, they go to Francisco. Francisco against Miller, hands off to Durandez, and Durandez passed it right to Patrick Pratt. Miscommunication there. Willie Miller. And all the way to the back. Willie Miller at it again. For 2 more points. 20 na po ang nakukuha ni Willie Miller. And what's the call here? Looks like we either have a warning or a technical foul on the bench of Doc and Tex.
That's gonna hurt, Jude, because they had momentum on their side.
Nagrereklamo sila kasi humihingi sila ng foul dun sa layup ni Willie Miller kanina. I think they argued a little bit too much.
And it's coming from the utility boy, a little bit too much passion.
Sabi siguro ng referee, yan pwede yung mga coaches, pero yung mga utility boys, hindi. Iwan nyo lang sa coaches yung pagkareklamo.
Alam mo kasi yung mga utility boys, sila rin nagre-referee minsan sa practice. So they also know what they're talking about. But I don't think the referees are gonna take none of that.
Pwede pa kung Coach Virgil dahil Eric Here's the Remnants inside. His bank shot doesn't go, but there's a foul on Mark Telan. Pahiyap kagad sila eh. Nakita mo, pinakita sa camera, walang salita eh.
Gusto ko malaman dyan. Kasi alam mo, pag nata-technical kami, tinatawag kami ni Perry Martinez. I wonder if he's gonna get called to the technical committee of the PBA as well.
Dennis Durandez, the hottest player on the court. Actually, in Puerto Princesa right now. Durandez now with 24 points, his first point in the 3rd quarter. But, this guy has the ability to score as well. I mean, I think he's already had a 30-plus point game this year. Kaya po siya leading scorer ng PBA. Although he split the free throws there.
Something that Kenneth seems not having a good year in is the free throws.
I mean, Willie Miller's crossover is breaking some ankles tonight. I mean, hindi na malaman ni Gerard Francisco na napunta si Willie Miller.
You're right, dude. I remember
Napauol na rin siya kay Coach Alfredo. Ay, alam ko, naimanan ako.
I remember when I was playing against Willie Miller, sabi mo nga, kailangan doble yung tape mo eh. Kasi, you know that, he's gonna try to embarrass you when you play one-on-one. He's one of the heftiest guards we have in the league.
That's nothing to be ashamed of, though, for Gerard. I mean, he's not the quickest of players, pero, I mean, Willie Miller, one of the quickest players, and, that killer crossover by Miller is just difficult to defend.
So right now, it's 66-56, Jude, and Santa Lucia has only scored 6 points here in the 2nd half.
Here's Kenneth Durandez, but he got his own rebound, and And Miller will be called for the foul.
Dami masyadong offensive rebound na kukuha ng Santa Lucia. It seems every time bumababa sila, they get second serving.
The first personal foul on Willie Miller. Gerard Francisco, papalitan ni Makuan. Susubukan niyang gwadzahan itong si Willie Miller. Makuan now sets the play for Santa Lucia. Espino out to Mendoza, fakes the three, pinalik si Espino. Espino drives inside, nawala yung bola, nakuha ni Telan, binigay si Miller. 1-on-3, or 2-on-3. That's a little short, and Mendoza shot but lost it. And may jump ball po tayo. Patrick Frank ends up play, getting the jump ball. Pagkatapos makuha ni Mendoza yung rebound.
Willie Miller trying to, I call that the timeout shot. You make that shot, you force the opposing team to call a timeout. He tried to do it there, but coming out short in that three-point attempt.
And you know, he's made that a few times. So off the fast break, bigla na lang siyang titira ng tres. Patrick Frank, and nabigay si Dennis Espino, and that's actually a good foul by Willie Miller as two Realtors get on the fast break. Still an 11-point advantage for the Realtors. At ayaw talaga nilang bigyan ng momentum itong Tokentex. From the outside, Duremdes takes the feet inside, and Kenneth Duremdes now with 26 points in the ball game. At talagang naubusan na tayo ng spasyo dito sa ating scorecard. Inside they go. Telan loses it, taken by Paulo Mendoza. Here comes Santa Lucia once again. Mendoza ahead to Gonzalez. Gonzalez, nice three-footer. For Santa Lucia, and they keep that 14-point lead ahead of Tokentex. Willie Miller, sila po nga talagang mag-init dito para sa Tokentex.
Santa Lucia employing the 2-3 zone right now.
Telan goes short in the jumper, gets the offensive rebound, and he'll draw the foul. You can't fault Tokentex for the effort. I mean, I think they are trying. Talagang maganda lang ang pinapakita ng Santa Lucia ngayon. I think scoring 56 points ain't so bad with 6 minutes and 15 seconds left in the third. It's just that giving up 70 points is what I think Coach Joel Banal is concerned with.
Oh, nasaktan talaga sila dun sa 60 dun sa first half eh. Actually, they've just given 10 points this half and they're playing good defense. The problem is, mahirap talaga umabol from 17. Coaches want, when you have big leads, may hinahabol, your target coming into the fourth quarter is to cut it down to the 10 region. So, you know, if you can kumahabol mo lahat, well and good, but to get back into the 10 region is what you want to be at.
Well, hindi pa tapos itong third quarter, and Marlo Aquino is in the bench because of foul trouble, so they have a good opportunity to get into that region. Na 12 na nga lang itong kalamangan ng Santa Lucia.
Quickly, dude. You know, this is the reason kung bakit pinaplayerap yung Santa Lucia to more. Tokentex playing a diamond and one. They're guarding one man and playing a zone with diamond.
Well, let me guess who that one is.
Well, actually,
Is there a guy who's scored a lot of points?
no, actually, you're wrong.
Mali pala.
They're trying to take away the point guard in the situation. That's why you know what you're at.
So Tokentex has cut the lead to 10 points here. Well, you know, if they're playing a diamond and one, might as well go to Kenneth, as he has 26 points. Here's Duremdes, titira to Kenneth. Tapos yung tira. Ahead to Mark Telan. He's got one. On defense, and Telan takes it all the way, and the lead is now single digits for Santa Lucia.
On the part of Santa Lucia, what they do is they have to attack the gaps dito. Kasi, yun na nga, naka 4-on-4 sila na zone.
Trouble team is, you know, the fast offensive foul. I think it's on Paulo Mendoza.
Trying to screen his man from getting into Kenneth Duremdes.
Timeout has been called. Chance to cut this 8-point lead. Biggest lead of Santa Lucia. And wow, another crossover came off the He missed the shot, but you know the play was so nice. And Auden blocked from behind a little bit by Mark Telan, at siya pa nakakuha ng rebound. And Willie Miller really just putting on a show here.
This game turning out to be a showdown of Willie Miller and Kenneth Durante.
And Jackson Ocampo inside, he'll draw the foul from Norman Gonzalez.
At nagiging problema dito ng Santa Lucia undersized sila pag wala si Marlu. Kenneth having to play down low in their zone, as well as Norman Gonzalez.
There's Marlo Aquino ready to check back in the ball game. Na-realize siguro ni Coach Al Francis Chua na kailangan niya pa rin itong si Marlo Aquino. You know, if there's ever a highlight play on a missed shot, yun na yun. Si Willie Miller with a crossover move.
Triple lang.
Yun nga eh. Mapapawaw ka na eh, hindi na pumasok yung tira. So Marlo Aquino replaces Dennis Espino. He's got to be careful with the foul. He's got 4. The lead is 7. Now down to 6 points. So Kuan will bring it up for the Realtors. Lorendes laban si Papo. Papasok agad si Marlo Aquino. Sinunod si Dio Campo. Double team. Blocked away by Mark Telan. Para po na loose ball. A jump ball will be called between Norman Gonzalez and Yancy Dio Campo.
Mark Telan growing up, idol niya yan si Marlo Aquino. That time, not really respecting his idol with that clean block.
Well, you know, Mark Telan, inaabangan eh. And I mean, he's got the primary defender, and Mark Telan just all of a sudden goes inside. And I think he's already double teamed pa nga eh. Pangatlong defender pa itong si Mark Telan. So here's the jump ball. Tex has the advantage, and they do get possession. Ahead to Willie Miller. Here comes Miller again. Miller triple to the hole, and this time, McCuan ready and waiting for the charge.
That time, McCuan standing his ground, not biting, just in case to cross over na lang si Willie Miller. Tatayuan kita. That time, a good decision to stand pat.
Well, McCuan standing pat right there, and Willie Miller forcing the issue for the offensive foul. Inside we go, Marlo Aquino once again against Dio Campo. No double team. Hindi po mo na double team. Ano, nabitin pa rin yung tira. Del Villano will bring it up. So again, Alapag not getting touches here as Mark Telan going long on the shot. Ahead to Gonzalez. Gonzalez with the ball, but all 5 white shirts back on defense.
Good transition defense on the part of Talk and Text that time.
Si Kenneth Durante nakakuha ng screen. Binangga si Dio Campo. Balik tayo sa 8. Kalamangan ng Santa Lucia.
So Kenneth Durante not only scoring, also setting up his teammates. Kaya nung ginawa niya kay McCuan that.
Victor Pablo drives inside. It's scoring jumper. Cuts the lead to 6 once again. So Kuan back up the court for the Realtors. Durante, ito yung primary play nila. Talaga ipapasok nila kay Marlo Aquino. Durante, one dribble in, takes the long jumper, and he's got 1
Once you have a post player in the caliber of Marlo Aquino, it's always good advice to go to that well-quiet offense, because only good things will happen once you're able to bring in the ball.
Victor Pablo out to the at the same time, palitan sila ng outside shot. Yancy Dio Campo getting the 2 points. Kuan gets it across. Ahead to Durante. Here's Durante. Inside they go. Marlo Aquino. Double team. Down to Mendoza. Shoots the 3. That one's off left. So now they have a chance to cut the lead lower than 6 points. Miller inside and a foul on Kenneth Durante.
On the side of Talk and Text, Jude, ang ginagawa nila pag half-court, na-atake nila yung undersized big men ng Santa Lucia. Pag fast break naman, it's the Willie Miller show.
Well, Santa Lucia average game for the Thriller Miller. At sabi nga natin, maski yung mga mintis niya, ang sarap panuorin eh.
Pero kita mo yung ginagawa niya, he's not hurting himself. He goes to the line, he'll make his free throws. Kasi sayang yung mga puntos na yun. He went 10 out of 10 And that's a place na doon lang siya hindi binabantayan sa free throw.
He's making up for the lost points of Jimmy Alapag in this ball game. So ngayon po mga kaibigan, the lead has been cut to 5 points, and it hasn't been this low in a long time.
Actually, the last time it was this close, it was all the way in the first quarter, and we said Talk and Text was gonna come up with a run, and tingnan natin how much further they can cut this lead.
The bounce pass inside, Marlo Aquino received it, but he will draw the foul from Yancy Di Ocampo. That's the 15th foul for Talk and Text, so next foul will be in the penalty situation. So Mark Telan played very well in the third quarter, placed by Don Camaso. Cross court they go. Willie Miller tips it to the backcourt. 10 seconds on the shot clock. McCowan has to hurry. McCowan bounces it to Gonzalez. Gonzalez back to Durendez. Durendez nag-aarap na yung paso. Durendez walang foul na matatawag. Well, they're not going to call the turnover as Willie Miller gets the possession. They bounce it inside. Telan takes, fires, and taken by Santa Lucia.
His indecision made him miss that shot. Actually open for a while after taking.
Willie Miller to Victor Pablo, and the lead has been cut to 3 points.
Sabi nga natin, you want to cut it down below 10, but if you can tie or get the lead, so much better for Talk and Text as it's down to 3 points.
And some of the Talk and Text fans here in the Princesa Coliseum is starting to cheer as McCowan tries to stop the momentum ng Talk and Text.
Pangalawang pamatay sunog na ni McCowan yan. Kanina he also hit a jumper from elbow and right now from the corner. So McCowan helping out his team.
There's a penalty by the Ocampo, not there, but then this gets the rebound. He pushes it up, and the 3 white shirts back on defense, and then he's on the Delano, sa doon, nakaagaw. Here's Delano, he fakes against Kuan, fires! So Talk and Text hanging on, only down by 3, 76-73 Coates score. Here's Durendez. Trying to break that 30-point mark. Inside they go. Marlo Aquino, the hook shot, backs it out. Follows loose, one it. Talk and Text chance to cut it to 1. Delano challenges Durendez. Ito na lang po kalamangan ng Santa Lucia with 10 seconds left in the third quarter.
But Santa Lucia still has a good possession and a good attempt.
Here's McCowan. I'm not sure if that was a good attempt. Omalon loses it out of bounds with 2 seconds left on the clock.
Mental lapse that time on the part of the Santa Lucia players. Still had a lot of time with 10 seconds.
Here's Willie Miller. His shot. Nandiyan ka lang eh. Wala kang say. Quarter scoring po natin. And nadoble ng Talk and Text ang score ng Santa Lucia. At we expected a run by Talk and Text. And we got it in the third quarter. So ang tanong po ngayon kung babawi itong Santa Lucia sa fourth.
At saka makikita mo yung some of the players of Talk and Text, wala pa siyang pahinga katulad ni Miller, Pablo. Oh, actually just the 2 guys, sila na lang ang walang pahinga from the guys that made that comeback.
Ang problema dyan, baka uminit pa si Alapag pag pinasok nito si Joel, you know? We can't be tired. So Malone misses that shot, but here's Talk and Text with a chance for the lead in this possession. Delano out to Pablo. Swing it to Miller. Willie Miller. His pass deflected out of bounds with 8 on the shot clock.
Santa Lucia going with maybe their strongest lineup with, of course, the front court of Dennis Marlo and Kenneth, Paulo, and Nelbert Omalon.
Here's Miller against Omalon. Miller, double team. Back to Camaso for the lead. Dalawa pong lamang ng Talk and Text. And a nice play between Willie Miller and Don Camaso. Here's Marlo Aquino against Oliver Camaso at nasundutan, and the foul will be called on Camaso.
Look at that, Jude. Tignan mo yung fast break points saka yung field goal percentage. Sabi mo nga, dinoble score ng Talk and Text yung Santa Lucia, and they did the same thing with field goal percentage. Like we said, you get the your field goal percentage increases.
So a tale of 2 halves so far. First half, all Santa Lucia. Ganap so far. Marlo Aquino with the offensive rebound. Maybe that'll get the Realtors going as nakakuha siya ng offensive board, and the putback is good. You know, offensive rebounding is definitely a sign of aggressive play, and Marlo Aquino has 4 offensive rebounds here in the ball game, and you know, a lot of not playing all the time, but you know, you cannot fault him in this game, and he has given 100% effort, and 23 points to go along with 9 rebounds or 8 rebounds already. Tablak po or actually lamang po ng isa ang Santa Lucia, 79-78 because of that free throw by Marlo Aquino. Milano gets a screen, passing it to Mark Telan, tries to find some space. Marlo Aquino, and hindi pwede yun. And the pass to Kenneth Duremdes a little too strong. But Marlo Aquino making his presence felt inside.
Kanina nakita natin si this time around, the guy that has lorded it over the paint here in the PBA for a long time, showing Mark Telan a thing or two.
Making sure that si Mark Telan alam niyang nandiyan pa rin, nakapasok na si Marlo Aquino. Willie Miller, the crossover. This time not as effective. Goes inside. Good defense by Nelson. Mark Telan, the back doesn't go. Offensive rebound.
Good defense on the part of Santa Lucia that time, especially for Omolon, but boxing out suspect that time as another offensive rebound for Tokitech.
Duremdes fakes the three, drives all the way inside. Mark Telan. Dapat po pagkatugod ni Kenneth Duremdes, and Kenneth Duremdes now breaks the 30-point barrier. Willie Miller. Spins against Omolon. They have defense was right there. Don Camaso inside, and Camaso missing the short shot as Paulo Mendoza tinutulak ang bola. They do have the numbers. Kenneth Duremdes inside, giving it to Omolon from behind. Rebound, Dennis Espino on the block, but a foul will be called on Don Camaso.
And what action we're seeing right now, dude. Both teams not wanting to give up on this game.
Makapasa ni Kenneth Duremdes dito kay Nelbert Omolon na humabol sa likod eh. Yeah, hinabol sa likod ni Camaso itong si Omolon, and Camaso had to help out on Dennis Espino, and there he broke the plane. And
Don Camaso, actually a teammate of mine in one of the Philippine teams. Pag yung nag-out of town kami, against slam dunk champion.
Don Camaso actually known for his jumping ability and also for his outside shot. So na po, upo na si Camaso, babalik na si De Ocampo at si Alapag.
Now we'll see what kind of contribution Jimmy Alapag can give to his team. Kasi right now they need another push. They have to kick it to a higher level para makawala sila dito sa Santa Lucia.
Alapag will try to get his game going here. Against Mendoza. Against Telan. Drives left against Mark Telan. May lamang siya in terms of height laban kay Duremdes eh.
Mark Telan, 8 points. All here in the second half, leading the comeback along with Willie Miller.
Dennis Espino, sabi niya, teka muna, matagal na ako hindi nakakaskora. Dennis Espino only with 7 points, only double digits. In fact, the only guy who hasn't hit 20 points. As Dennis Espino, good spin move against De Ocampo at yung help defense ni Mark Telan. Mark Telan, very familiar with each other way back from college days. 85-82 our score. Santa Lucia back to a 3-point advantage. Alapag ulit ang bola. Alapag in the perimeter. Binigay kay Miller. Miller! Quick save! A little short to Santa Lucia against giving up with the lead. Mendoza against the shorter Alapag. Here's Dennis Espino giving ahead. Wide open. And he gets right in front of the Santa Lucia bench. And Santa Lucia has created a little bit of space once again. And you know, I guess 16 points in each of the 3 wins this conference, and tonight 23. So, ito pong performance ni Marlo Aquino so far bodes well for Santa Lucia.
Parang sinasabi doon, if Marlo played well, we win. Santa Lucia.
Alapag hits the 3-point three-pointer. You knew that you could not keep this guy quiet all game long.
Credit to Coach Joel Banal setting up that play for Jimmy Alapag, trying to get him into this ball game.
Inside they go to Marlo Aquino against Leo Campo. Marlo Aquino, and that's it. Marlo Aquino, when he gets that shot going, imposible na talagang mapigilan itong Santa Lucia. Again, a 5-point lead for Santa Lucia. They give it to Alapag once again. Again, Paulo Mendoza. Alapag tries to get Mendoza. Hands off to Willie Miller. Willie Miller out to Victor Pablo. The baseline not there. Mark Telan taken away by Santa Lucia. Here comes Mendoza, pushing it up. Eyes up, ahead to Santos. Back to Mendoza. First break. A little off. Offensive rebound though, taken by Aquino. They've got a fresh 44-second shot clock. Then it's Aquino inside. Sinugod sa loob. Pinwersa sa loob. But ayaw kumama. Offense has a chance to cut this 5-point lead. Willie Miller against Santos. Crossing home. Santos on the ground. What a play by Willie Miller. I know it's a pass-off. But Santos, we just can't help but be in awe of his crossover move. And playing Santos, not known for his defense or what have you, but, to leave a guy off balance like that, definitely saying something.
What I do po, ako yung, if I was not at the fight, babalik ko na yung sa balance ko, kunyari, nadapa na lang ako mag-isa eh.
Alapag now, the lead is down to 3. They set it up. Ahead to Miller. Really see players really falling on the floor off his crossover move. Here's Alapag, out to Mark Telan. 20-foot back shot, it doesn't go. And Aquino gets the rebound. And double-double na itong si Marlo Aquino. Here's Kenneth Durandez. Ahead to Aquino in the lane. Back to Santos. Santos out to Durandez against Miller. Durandez tries inside. Miller from behind. 2-on-1 fast break. Miller finds it to the ball. No ball. Gives it to Alapag. He's open for 3. He got it. No wide.
All of a sudden, 1-point lead. 3 Tokentex players right there for the rebound, which turned out to be an assist.
I'm surprised Santa Lucia was not able to get back on Willie Miller wasn't able to convert on that fast break, and Alapag had to get his bearings in the 3-point area. Inside they go. Durandez has gone to his point total. He continues to sizzle as he now has 32 points.
That time working on a back cut to Kenneth Durandez. They were expecting him to get the handoff from Dennis Espino. Wisely changing his direction as we see a turnover for Tokentex.
So Alapag, miscommunication with Willie Miller as Miller turned his head pagkapasa ni Alapag at yun, napasahan tuloy yung commissioner's row natin. Santa Lucia, a 3-point lead with ball possession. Payeng Santos. Bigay kay Dennis Espino. Hands off to Kenneth Durandez. Thinks up lead from there. Looking at a short. Paulo Aquino, another offensive rebound. Santos gets it with a foul from Alapag.
Credit to Marlo Aquino, who's continued to crash the offensive rebound. That time almost a dead play as Kenneth missed, but continually tried to keep the ball alive for his team.
Marlo plays like this. It's going to be difficult to beat Santa Lucia. I mean, you expect Kenneth to, really put a show almost every game, averaging 19 plus points a game. But si Marlo Aquino, kung ganito papakita niya, mahihirapan talaga kalaban.
At saka baka siguro i-request na ni Coach Gerard lahat ng game nila sa Palawan na. I think he liked that sign a while ago that we saw the people from Palawan. Number 1 nilang idol, si Marlo Aquino.
Siya lang ang player na may banner.
May banner na.
So, talagang na-inspired si Marlo Aquino. And I mean, he has shown it with his game tonight. Okay, Jimmy Alapag with the ball. 4-point lead for Santa Lucia. Alapag takes a long way. The lead is down to 1. 93-92. Alapag, 2 big threes in the fourth quarter with 6 points. Durandez, nasa kanya bola, binigay kay Espino. Give it to Santos. Out to Mendoza. Papawi yata si Mendoza. pair of Santa Lucia players, Kenneth Durendes and Marlo Aquino. Here's Durendes now. Out to Paulo Mendoza. Back to Durendes. Cross court they go to Paeng Santos. Santa Lucia off this timeout. Sets up this play. Here's Paulo Mendoza inside. Corner. Bounces out and Mark Telan, a big rebound for Talking Tex. Alapag against Mendoza. Alapag gets a screen. Alapag inside they go to Mark Telan. Reverse play to Rod defense. And a block by Kenneth Durendes. Durendes. Pumapasok sa loob. Pasa niya. Natapek. Nakuha ni Mark Telan. Talking Tex has numbers. Willie Miller inside. And nice move by Willie Miller. Nice crossover. Kaya hindi niya na-crossover. Nag-hesitation lang niya. He kind of slowed down. And now Talking Tex has a 1-point lead. Inside they go. Marlo Aquino, turnaround jumper that bounces out. Telan another rebound. So Mark Telan lording it over with 16 rebounds in the ballgame. Jimmy Alapag gets by Paulo Mendoza. Dehado na ng 3 puntos. Naagawan pa ni Willie Miller. Santa Lucia trying to preserve a win here and keep their first place standing in the Grand Matador Brandy PBA Philippine Cup. Alapag another three-pointer. This one doesn't go. And the rebound to Omalon. And Mark Telan a little bit too aggressive on defense. Matatawagan ng foul.
Foul number 13, Mark Telan. Penalty.
So Mark Telan, his averages there, and huge numbers for Mark Telan. 14 points, 16 rebounds, 5 blocks.
Rising up to the challenge. Sabi nga natin kanina, this time they're gonna find the harder opponents in the front court of Santa Lucia. And Mark Telan showing na kayang-kaya niya. Quickly, Jude, yung free throws natin today, 8 out of 13 for Santa Lucia for 61%.
We got 8 out of 14, yes.
Talking Tex, 17 out of 23 for 74%. Ito yung sinasabi ko that Talking Tex doesn't hurt themselves because they shoot a high percentage when it comes to free throws. Santa Lucia, konti na nga yung attempt nila and they're not making a whole lot of them.
Splitting the free throws is Albert Omalon, cutting the lead to 2 points. For Talking Tex. Sila ngayon ang melamang, sa kanila pa yung bola. Here's Pablo as they work on their moving offense. Inside they go to Mark Telan against Durendes. Nakundi pa, naagawan. Here comes Durendes. He's gonna push it up against Talking Tex. Kenneth Durendes right side. Pinalik ni Paulo Mendoza. Chance to tie the ball game here in this possession. No fouls sa Talking Tex. Halos pa rin lahat ng fouls. Marlo Aquino tries to tie the ball game. So Aquino now with 27 big points.
Marlo Aquino continuing to lord it over those shaded lanes.
Willie Miller inside and he found a hole in between Albert Omalon and Marlo Aquino. Albert Omalon matatawagan ng foul. Nakakuha ng foul ulit, you know. Here's that spin move by Marlo Aquino. And he just kind of banged Yancy Di Ocampo out of position. Willie Miller. What did you say about free throw?
That they don't hurt themselves while missing free throws, Jude. Willie Miller, not bad because he's gone 10 out of 11.
Well, he is bound to miss one. You know, I mean, he's not that good of a free throw shooter. I mean, he's not a 100% free throw shooter. He's allowed to miss. You know, he's not perfect.
Especially when someone talks about free throws.
That's the broadcast thing. Inside they go. Marlo Aquino, successful earlier. Successful earlier. 29 points now for the Realtors. At ito po, mga kaibigan, lamang na ng isa ang Santa Lucia. Miller against Omalon. Takes the three-pointer. Blocked nicely by Omalon. And Dennis Espino getting the rebound. So a big play by Nelbert Omalon against Willie Miller. Santa Lucia looking for the upset. A minute 25 left in the game. Inside they go once again. Good pass to Kenneth Durendes. These two guys have dominated. Pinapasok nila yung bola sa loob and Marlo Aquino able to find Kenneth Durendes. Durendes, good angle on the ball.
Gandang pabanda nun. Actually, going high glass that time to Kenneth.
Alapag, and he lost the ball. So that was the play set up by Coach Joel Banal, but Santa Lucia ready and waiting. You can bet they're going to melt the shot clock here as they do have a 3-point lead. After one, a hand check foul on Jimmy Alapag.
And they are in the penalty, Jude. Sets McCuan for 2.
Fifth personal foul on Alapag. You know, Alapag played terribly in the first 3 quarters. A good fourth quarter. And committing the foul there. Fifth personal against McCuan.
Malaking sinut na free throw doon ni McCuan. Now it's a 4-point lead that makes it 2 possessions. Plus, may fouls to give pa tong Santa Lucia.
One finds a way to bounce it in. So Willie Miller will bring it up for the Phonepals, down by 5 with less than a minute left to play in the game. So 40% crossover move. Last time to see Gerard Francisco. They're not in the penalty yet.
Three more fouls to give. Let's see how Santa Lucia manages these 3 fouls.
Jimmy Alapag will inbound. Willie Miller against Francisco. Miller trying to elude the defender. Now it's Dennis Espino. Splits the defense inside and he will be fouled again. Mahirap lang talagang bantayan si Miller. They need to have a high percentage basket. With Willie Miller against Gerard Francisco and foul kagad ulit. That's really all you can do against Willie Miller. I mean, you just have to hold him or foul him or at least have help on defense. Because 9 times out of 10, iiwanan ka talaga if it's a one-on-one play. Give it to Miller once again. Miller, foul ulit ni Gerard Francisco. Naubos na yung fouls ni Gerard Francisco sa possession na to. 5th foul on Francisco. Alapag for 3. Doesn't go, and Espino a big rebound. They give it to Fuan. So Santa Lucia can face an upset here with 30 seconds left in the game. And they're going to melt this clock as much as they can. As Marlo Aquino muntik nang naagawan, it goes out of bounds with 6 seconds on the shot clock.
That's still a lot of time, dude. That 5-point lead. Bola nga ng Santa Lucia.
Gerard Francisco will inbound for Santa Lucia. We have 6 seconds to get a shot off here against Talk and Text. Binigay kay Marlo Aquino. Aquino out to Durendes and the follow not there and again. Espino, a couple of offensive rebounds and the Ocampo calls the timeout right away. But Espino had his looks there off the offensive court. Talk and Text Phonepals. Sinabi natin, last place versus first place when we play this ball game. And it's the last place team that is in the driver's seat. With only 13 seconds left. Talk and Text, this is a must score for Talk and Text if they want to even have a slight chance of winning the game. There's Victor Pablo inside, ahead to Alapag, takes the 3, takes the 3. He's fouled! He's fouled! It's a 2-pointer, but he's fouled! Jimmy Alapag, you know,
Sabi ko sa'yo, Jude, mahaba pa itong laro na to eh.
hindi nakatingin sa ring yun nung tumira at pumasok pa.
Actually, I was just gonna say that McCuan played good defense. But last second, pagtira ni Jimmy Alapag, natamaan niya yung kamay ni Jimmy Alapag as we see here.
Well, it's only a 2-pointer. He faked the 3, goes inside, and I guess his left foot stepped on the line there.
Question here, do you intentionally miss or do you go for the basket here and fall right away?
Well, I take the shot. Because of the free throw shooting of Santa Lucia. I mean, he's got 10 points this quarter, if I'm not mistaken. Or 11 because of that free throw.
At tingnan natin itong inbound ng Santa Lucia. Let's see if Talk and Text will be able to foul who they want to foul.
Looking, and this is the guy that Santa Lucia wants to shooting the free throw.
Tama ka, dude. We were discussing kanina kung sino yung the people that they can foul. Ito yung isa na...
Well, you know,
sabi
pinag-usapan natin, it's Kenneth Durendes or Dennis Espino,
Yan
and
lang,
maybe
wag.
Paulo Mendoza.
Yes.
Nakita natin yung play nila, it was both Espino and Durendes who were cutting towards the ball.
Yes.
So alam ni Coach Al Francis kung sino gusto niyang titira ng free throws.
Well, he knows one basket, worst case scenario, overtime.
And it's Espino's first free throw.
And another one twice the game.
This is for the upset against the Talk and Text Phonepals, and the Santa Lucia Realtors, although in last place, is only, you know, I think half a game or a game behind the ninth place team. And like you said, pareho yung losses nila eh. So yun lang talagang dapat mong tignan. Espino second, and looks like Santa Lucia has a good chance to upset the Talk and Text Phonepals.
Numbers na naman yung gusto mo.
Okay, so si Mark Telan, 6.4 seconds left. They at least, I think, need a three-pointer here. So expect a lot of screens from Alapag. They get it to Alapag. Alapag gets a good look at the three-pointer. Get it back to the other side. A three-pointer, 1 second, and a foul! That's the ill-advised play we're talking about. Earlier.
Oh my God, dude. All of a sudden, 2-point lead for Santa Lucia. Mark Telan free throw line.
Wow. Does Talk and Text have a timeout here?
Now all they have to do right now, Mark has to miss the shot and they have to get the rebound to tie the game.
Wow, that, you know, talking about the ill-advised play, that was it right there. I mean, they had the ball game. They would have won that ball game if they would just let Mark Telan go.
Tignan natin to, dude. Nothing comes easy in the PBA.
And they're trying to explain to Mark Telan that he cannot go in until the ball hits the ring. Kasi that is expected nila, yun ang gagawin niya. So he's gonna have to miss this on purpose. Somebody from Talk and Text has to get the offensive rebound and put it back within 2 seconds after Mark Telan hits the ring. He misses the shot. Telan gets it. Telan gets the shot. He missed the shot. He had a good look. Willie Miller predicted the shot, got the offensive rebound, but missed a point-blank